Hi guys, Lucy aka the Watchbox Diaries here and welcome to my channel. Now all colours have their moment. There was a lot of the Tiffany blue thing, we did the green thing, there was the purple thing, think AP, Black Panther. But one colour that I think should really have its moment is pink. Now when I say pink, what brand do you think of first? Do you think Rolex Oyster Perpetual Pink Candy? Do you think Oris Diver 65 Cotton Candy? Or do you go Normos Club Campus Deep Pink? Me? I go straight to Grand Seiko. Two of my favourites, my absolute favourites from Grand Seiko are the SBGA413 and the SBGW289. Now you're all probably very aware of my infinite love for my cherry blossom, so I wanted to get hands-on with the Sakura Kikuchi to do a little comparison and see if I loved this as much. So let's get into it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Grand Seiko was founded in 1960 by Seiko because they wanted to compete with the Swiss elite. Just a few years later, in 1967, Taro Tanaka designed a new case shape for their caliber 4420, completely unknowingly creating probably the most iconic Grand Seiko case shape, the 44GS, also known as Grand Seiko's Grammar of Design. This case is beautiful. Zaratsu polishing just completely mesmerizes me. Like such clean lines. There are a lot of flat surfaces. It is highly polished. It's sharp, but somehow perfectly contoured. And this look is made complete with a simple slimline bezel that lets the dial really do the talking. And it's a Grand Seiko dial, so there's a lot to talk about. I actually really like the box crystal as well because it provides a sort of step-like transition between bezel and dial. This is very much a honey, I shrunk the watch moment, as the standard 44GS case tends to come in around 40mm plus. However, Grand Seiko have decided to reduce the dimensions down to a much more accessible 36.5mm. This size is perfect for those of us who happen to have smaller wrists or are just looking for something a little bit stealthier. Okay, so some people describe Grand Seiko dials as resembling their nan's ceiling. And honestly, I get it, I kind of see it, but that does not stop me from loving them. This one is very lightly textured, so it has enough going on that it picks up the light nicely, but it's not bold enough to disrupt from legibility. It is giving me cracked wallpaper vibes, but in the best way. The shade of pink is so beautifully subtle. It is not in your face like, say, the Normos Club Campus. Not that I have anything against that watch, it's just a very statement shade. Much like my SBGA413, this style is based on the springtime in Japan, in that fleeting moment where snow and the springtime cherry blossoms coexist. Now, be into that story stuff or not, but you cannot deny that they have created a beautiful shade. Now, colour aside, I truly appreciate that they have kept the rest of the dial super simple and super clean. Three-handed, time only, no fuss. This Grand Seiko uses the 9S64 manual wind movement, which comes with 72 hours of power reserve, which you know I'm going to appreciate, and an accuracy of +5 - 3 seconds per day. With a manual wind, you really do have to get involved and really connect with your watch, and it builds, to me, like a bit more of a relationship with your watch. Now, a three-hander may initially shout, dress watch, and you would half be right because it does look very good dressed up. But with 100 meters of water resistance, Grand Seiko throw a bit of a spanner in the initial stereotyping and make it much more versatile and easy to incorporate in everyday situations. For me, I really love the dress watch aesthetic. I think it has something to do with my love of vintage and my continued love. but I also really like to be able to throw on a watch and be confident that it's strong enough and sturdy enough and can endure me and my everyday life. I live in the UK, I'm a little bit clumsy, so I need something reliable, but then I also want something that's classy and has that gorgeous dress watch aesthetic, and I do think this combines both of those really nicely. I'm not a girly girl, and pink would not normally be my go-to colour-wise, but the almost but not quite pink shade that Grand Seiko have created is just wonderful. I think this watch is perfect for anyone wanting a smaller, subtle pink watch. It is not just for women who aren't into diamonds. I know a few people that actually own this particular watch, and all of them are guys. Now, if you ask me which one I prefer between the SBGW289 and the SBGA413, I'm always gonna choose the cherry blossom. There is just too much sentimental value in it for me, but the sizing, design and wearability of the Sakura Kikuchi make this watch an absolute winner in my opinion. This watch was limited edition of just 1,200 pieces, retailing for 4,550 Great British pounds, but you can still get them on places like Chrono24 for just under retail. And that is it. Thank you very much for tuning in as always. Now, pink is quite a controversial colour choice, so I'm eager to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch, firstly? And secondly, do you own a pink watch? If you do, what is it? And if you don't, but you would have one, which one would it be? Let me know in the comments section below. Now, if you have enjoyed my content and you want to support my channel, then you've got to do the YouTube-y things and make sure you have liked and subscribed. And if you would like to be notified of my upcoming videos, then all you got to do is click the little bell and YouTube will do its thing. Until next time though, bye!